Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Running the Bases, Season 4, Episode 7. I'm Michael Garaffa, joined today by Nick Nath. Ryan Blank will be joining us shortly as we are here for our final show before we take a little summer break. We're going to take 2 weeks off from the show, primarily because I've got other things that I've got going on for the next 2 weeks. My girlfriend's coming into town, and I'm going back to New York with her tomorrow. She's coming here, so it's going to be a busy 2 weeks, and there's just going to be no time for a podcast. So we are here with our last show before a little summer vacation. Everyone's home now. Nick's got the bed back in the frame. It's been a while. I mean, I the last time the bed was in the frame, we were talking about Blake Snell being traded. You know, it's been a while, but I mean, it's been a long time. But we're happy to have the bed back, the iconic bed, and it's great. So, got a lot of chat about in today's show. As you can tell by the title, we will be talking about Mike Trout in a little bit, but we've got a lot of other current events, things that are going on that I think are important to talk about. We'll talk about we're going to talk about one thing first because it includes the Mets, and well, Ryan's not going to care about talking about the Mets, but I know Nick will. So we're going to talk about that first before Ryan gets here, and then we're going to talk about the other stuff because there were a few really notable things that happened in the last week that honestly need to be spoken about, and we wouldn't have if it weren't for this. So the first thing to talk about here are injuries around baseball. Injuries right now. Well, Ryan's here, so he made it in. He made it in at a beautiful time. Is that a Brooklyn Cyclones hat?
No, this is the half of the organization that I coach for.
Did you just get a haircut?
Yeah, I did today. Why?
So did I. Look at you. You look all young.
No more long hair, gentlemen.
Look at you.
It is gone. Gone forever. Just like a former NFL player.
And you don't have glasses on today. This is a whole new Ryan. So
wait, I don't have my glasses on. I probably should put those on. Hold on 1 second.
Well, it's okay. So in the meantime, while you go do that, if you can hear me, then you'll hear. Okay, you do. So we've got a few things we're going to talk about before we get into the show. And so we're starting off with injuries around baseball. This is a last minute thing that we're throwing in here, Ryan. That's not in the outline. Injuries around baseball.
Injuries. I am so tired of these injuries.
This is why we were going to do it before you got here, but you came a little earlier than I anticipated, which is why it was first. But injuries around baseball are running rampant. I mean, I believe I saw a stat this morning that said that to this point in time, in years prior, there has never been more than 140 players put on a non-COVID related injured list at like May 18th. This year, we're at 240 non-COVID related players that have gotten hurt and been put on an injured list. And the two most notable names in that have been the New York Mets and the New York Yankees. The New York teams are just being destroyed by injuries right now. So we're going to primarily focus on them because they're the ones that have pretty much there. Yeah, the Dodgers too, another one. Three really mainstream teams that many people were expecting to maybe even be divisional winners, all three of them this year. And they're all really hurt with injuries. Granted, now the Mets are the only one out of the three leading their divisions in the weirdest way possible that's happening. But I don't know if it's because of the 60-game season last year. We obviously said going into the year, we're coming off a 60-game season. Anything can happen. But what do you guys think? What do you think is the reason for all these injuries? Is it trainers? Is it the 60-game season? Is it, I don't know, some magic pill that the players are now taking that's hurting them? What's going on? We'll start with you, Nick. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I feel like last year we didn't get used to the amount of injuries that there were because of the 60-game season and because there was less games being played. I feel like, yeah, there's a good amount of injuries this year, but I feel like this is kind of normal. I feel like in a normal 162-game season, there's bound to be injuries like this. Like, it sucks, but that when players are playing like almost every day and almost like 9 out of 10 times, like in that type of span, like there's gonna be injuries, and I feel like this is normal. It sucks though, because like some big name players are on the shelf right now. Like Seager just went down with a broken hand. Obviously the best pitcher in baseball is out on the IL right now. The Yankees are really struggling with injuries right now, and like they always have. So honestly, yeah, it could also be a trainer's thing, but I really do think that throughout the course of the season there are going to be these types of injuries, and it's not something that we can avoid. It's just something that I'm kind of glad it's happening now rather than later in the season too, because it sucks when injuries hurt playoff chances that much.
Ryan, what do you got?
Here's where I think injuries are coming from is that last year players groomed themselves for a quick 60-game season. If you made the playoffs, you're playing at most 90 games. And I don't think players were properly conditioned for a full season like this to get started as quick as it did in comparison to last year. So I think it's the conditioning, which is also on the players and on the training staffs of the teams. So I think that it's a lack of conditioning and a lack of preparedness that has led to a lot of these injuries. Plus, a lot of them are just freak accidents. Like Seager got hit in the hand and he has a broken hand. Like, that stuff's going to happen. Like, these oblique injuries, these injuries that are muscle-related are really a lack of preparedness for a regular season. And then those freak injuries like a broken foot, broken hand, broken finger, stuff like that, those come from incidents in games, and you can't really control that, and that's just part of the game. So that's really how I've seen it from my perspective, but yeah.
Also, I'm glad to see that you're feeling a little better. It's been 8 days since we last saw you when you were dying.
Yes, guys, I can breathe. It's weird.
We're so happy for you.
I am hyped up on them Allertex. Let me say this. Taking 3 of those puppies a day.
Well, good. I'm glad that the Allertech is working. I think that a lot of the injuries, I mean, for me, I've seen the Mets. And the Mets, when I tell you, there have been 5 or more players this year that have gone down with right or left side tightness. Like right side tightness. The Mets have lost 4 players to that this year. Like, where the heck does that come from? And the Mets broadcast was talking about it yesterday. These are all soft tissue injuries that Mets players are getting. It's a pattern for them. That seems to me more like a medical staff kind of deal where the trainers are just not doing their jobs right. But it's happening around the league, and it makes you wonder maybe the trainers just weren't prepared. And I don't know. I mean, I personally didn't think that the 60-game season would impact injuries this way, but maybe it really is. And if it is, then it maybe makes you wonder, well, why? I mean, obviously there's really no way to prepare for it, but how could they have been more prepared? I don't know. And I just think that it's strange what's going on, and it's killing a lot of lineups. I mean, the Mets only have 3 regular starters playing right now, and it's really just a decimated team. And because of that, we're already having trade talks on May 18th. It is a month and a half into the season, and we are having discussions of trades. I mean, I saw a tweet the other day that said the Rockies are clearly not going anywhere. It's time for Trevor Story to be traded. But Trevor Story is a deadline deal kind of guy. And it seems out of the ordinary for a player that big to be traded earlier. But maybe in a year during COVID and the post 60-game season, maybe those kinds of things become normal. What do you guys think we're going to start seeing? Are we going to see big names like that? Or are we going to see, I've heard the name Eduardo Escobar thrown around out there from the Diamondbacks, names like that going across the market. Nick, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's a good amount of players that could definitely be dealt with a deadline. Like a name like Chris Bryant is the first that comes to mind for me. Like the fact that now he's expandable and he can play in the outfield for some teams, as opposed to just third base, that's huge for other teams. And I feel like there's a good amount of players, like you just said, like Trevor Story. I had a feeling Story would be dealt more after the season was ended. I really do think he'll be a Giant starting next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was dealt before the season ended. Obviously, we're going to have to see what teams are really contending and not contending, because we're still in May, and we're still not sure. We still have to figure out what teams are legit, what teams are pretenders. Like right now, the Giants are in first place in the division. I don't know how long that's going to last for. Right now, the Dodgers are in third. Like there's still a lot of time left, and there's still a lot of baseball to be played. And organizations aren't even sure if their teams are ready to contend or pretend yet. So honestly, it's more of a waiting game right now. But there's a good amount of players right now that could be dealt before the deadline.
Well, see, now in that case, just really quick, is that if you're the Giants, you've got a lead. Pounce. Hold the lead. I mean, it's your division. Yeah, it's your division to lose right now. Obviously, the Dodgers are hot, and the Giants are probably not going to withstand this. But
the Dodgers are right there.
For right now, for right now, they are in the lead. Make a move. Go get Trevor Story. Why not? Shock the world. Win the division. It would be crazy, and it would be so out of the ordinary. But, and it's the same thing for NL East teams. The Braves and the Mets both. The Mets are in first, but look at the Braves. They need to win that division, or they at least need to make the playoffs. And, I mean, they're under 500. You've got to do something, and injuries are.
That's
yeah. I mean,
they need something.
I mean, the Nationals we didn't expect to do very much this year, but I mean, still, it's happening everywhere, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have an early trade deadline season. So, I don't know, Ryan. What are you thinking on that?
Here's the thing: there are teams that are going to start panicking, and one of them could be the Mets to make a deal to make up for some losses. But in my opinion, I think teams just got to wait and let their teams get healthy. I think that if you're the Mets, go out and sign a guy like Yasiel Puig, who you can gladly put on the bench once everyone's healthy. They should not go out and try to get a guy like Joey Gallo or a big-name guy because they've got a good outfield when they're healthy. You don't want to ruin your outfield when they're fully healthy. So that's my whole thing with that. But I think that at this point, teams are going to have to start negotiating. Because here's the thing. A guy like Trevor Story should be dealt at the deadline. I think he will be dealt at the deadline, and I think there should be teams that are in on him. One of them should be the Giants. One of them that also could be in that one shot means the Yankees. So you have to expect teams to finally start talking and trying to add. And where I think there's going to be a big market is starting pitching. I think a lot of teams are going to go in for starting pitching. And at the same time, teams are going to want to focus on bullpen, but they can't focus on bullpen because the good arms in a bullpen for contending teams are not going to go anywhere because bullpen arms are hard to find nowadays. So I think that when you're looking at the trade deadline, names are going to come about, and those names should be talked about, and they should be in discussions already, but nothing should be made yet.
And I think that in a year like this, I mean, I mentioned it before, maybe we break the normal and we see all the big names like Scherzer and Story getting dealt in May and June as opposed to the end of August. I mean, July. I don't necessarily think we'll see any big names maybe traded in May, but you never know. If the Giants are really, I mean, I don't know the exact status of them, but I know that they're in first, and I don't know by how many games, but I know that they've got first place right now. I'm looking it up so that I'll have a definitive answer. So the Giants are in first place by a half a game over the Padres. I mean, if you're the Giants, go for it, man. I mean, there's no reason not to. There's a wide open door right now. They would have the first wild card spot if the Padres took them over. I mean, there's no reason not to go for it. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Obviously, we're not going to be able to be here for 2 weeks to talk about it on the show, which is too bad. But if a breaking news thing might happen, we can always maybe make something work. There's no reason we can't. But we'll have to see as this goes forward. So the next thing, yes,
I agree with you both. If there's somebody a team wants to get, like if I'm the Giants right now, I have a lead in the division. I'm not giving it up. Go get Trevor Story. Go get someone. Make your big splash. Because Trevor Story's been linked to the Giants the past couple of years. Go make the move. Get him for this season, then extend him. That's what you should do.
If they don't get him at the deadline, I could definitely see him being signed after the season ends. Because the shortstop market is
insane. I definitely see it too. But right now, they have a lead in the division that nobody thought they'd have. They need to get some star power to really get them boosted where they can keep it. Because the Dodgers are going to get healthy. The Padres are going to get fully healthy. And those teams are going to soar and take off. So they got to watch out for that as well. But if I'm a team that has a chance to get into the playoffs and compete, go out and do something and do it quick before the interest really starts to skyrocket.
Yeah, and this is why I think that obviously we love the July 31st deadline, but honestly, I think a trade deadline would be great to have maybe at the end of June, because if at that point right now, look at the Giants, let's say 1 month from now they're under 500 and they're in third and they're 6 games back. They're not going to care anymore once it comes time for the deadline. But right now, the Giants season today and the Giants season a month from today without making any trades could be drastically different. That's why if you make the deadline, let's say June 31st, they might be more inclined to make a trade right now that changes the rest of their season. And it can make for a much more competitive second half of the season, as opposed to normally where it's the teams that are like three games to 0 back. They're the ones making the push, as opposed to now where there's going to maybe be many more. So that'll be fun to see how that turns out. Now, the next thing on the docket here is something that came up a little bit earlier in the week, but I think is really interesting, especially considering that we're here in Arizona and Nick in California, is the Oakland Athletics moving and the talk of that. There was a lot going on that came out a little bit later in the week last week, where it was announced that MLB said basically, hey, Oakland Athletics, if you can't get your new stadium done, leave Oakland. And it was a really weird thing going on. If whoever wants to jump in and kind of give the whole details, because obviously it's a very detailed situation for what's going on there.
We all know what this is. They're not moving. This is a ploy to get their stadium that they want. They're tired of playing at Oko. And if Oakland's not going to start moving on their new stadium, then move. Honestly. Oko is old. Oko is torn apart because the Raiders played there. That's how it is. And what you have to look at is fans don't want to go to Oko. They need a new stadium. They have the plans for a new stadium. If the city of Oakland is not going to move on it and get them that new stadium, then honestly, move. Vegas will gladly take you. They want every sports team.
I'm about to say,
somebody will take them. If they don't get that new stadium soon, or at least if it's not starting soon, I'd leave. Honestly, I think this is the right move, and I'm pretty sure that's why the Athletics, they're trying to put pressure on the city of Oakland to get them their new stadium started.
Honestly, Vegas would probably be the first city that would adopt the Athletics. I think that makes the most sense. I think Vegas is very hungry for a baseball team, and we've seen good players like Chris Bryant and Bryce Harper come out of Vegas and really be like a pipeline for the MLB. I think it'd be really cool to see Vegas with the baseball team. I would miss Oakland. Obviously, Oakland's one of the more historical franchises in Major League Baseball, going all the way back to like Ricky Henderson and those type of players. But like Ryan said, Oko sucks. Oko used to be played with the Raiders. I mean, I'm pretty sure John Madden used to coach at that stadium. Like, it's old. It's torn up, and it shouldn't be a stadium anymore. Like, every time I look at it, it looks like a prison. Like, every time I play it in MLB The Show, it actually looks like I'm in jail. I feel bad for Oakland Athletics fans because they probably won't have a baseball team next year.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that why can't they get this new stadium built? I mean, first of all, look at the plans that they've had for it. I mean, the Athletics are trying to build the most revolutionary stadium ever in Oakland, which is Oakland. It's like, well, they're trying to the bar is here. They're trying to go over the bar by this much, when all you have to do is just make a new stadium. And I think that's what's hurting them a lot. But honestly, I agree with you, Nick. I don't understand why they don't have a team in Vegas. And this is the perfect opportunity. I mean, Las Vegas is such a hot spot. I mean, they didn't have any sports teams. And Las Vegas is probably the second or third most popular city in the country, but it didn't have any sports teams.
Gambling.
Yeah.
If any sports team gets to Vegas, their gambling numbers are going to skyrocket even more.
Yeah.
Vegas wants a sports team. They've made it very vocally clear. This is their chance. If Oakland is going to continue to be stupid and screw themselves over by screwing the Athletics, give the Athletics a new stadium, give them what they want, and boom. You got a baseball team.
Absolutely. And I think that, Nick, I know you said maybe next year the Athletics won't have fans in Oakland, they won't have a team. But I think that if this were to happen and they were to relocate to Las Vegas, it's going to take time to build a stadium, going to take time to relocate. I would probably say maybe 2023 or 24, we would see them officially out, but you never know.
It'll be like the same thing with the Raiders. I mean, they announced that they'd be the Las Vegas Raiders in the upcoming season, but everyone knew them as Las Vegas Raiders even when they were playing in Oakland. It'd be kind of like that type of situation, I feel like.
Yeah,
both
very
Oakland teams are going to Vegas.
Yeah, that would be very funny and really would be rough for Oakland fans. But, I mean, it'll be interesting. And I would love to be able to drive up to Las Vegas to see an Athletics game. I think that'll be cool. If they make the playoffs, they're definitely a playoff-bound team. It would be fun to get out there and see how that goes. So now the final thing here that it shocked the world a little bit was Albert Pujols being released by the Los Angeles Angels and then picked up by the crosstown rival Dodgers. But the bigger part of this, just cutting right to the point, it relies solely on you, Mr. Nick, is how does this impact players like Miguel Cabrera? Do they get released early? I've heard so many people on social media saying, well, this just means that Cabrera is going to be cut. Yes, Ryan.
Time out. There is a complete difference. Complete difference. Cabrera's been with the Tigers. Cabrera is the Tigers. That's the difference. Pujols was never really the Angels. It's always been Mike Trout. Yeah. That's the difference here. And Cabrera is putting up better numbers than Pujols was putting up with the Angels. Sorry, Nick. Just had to put that out there. It is a completely different situation. The Tigers will never cut Miguel Cabrera.
No, he's 100% correct. That's exactly what I was going to say. Pujols was literally getting mad that Jared Walsh was getting playing time over him, and that would just never happen to Miguel Cabrera in Detroit. AJ Hinch and Miguel Cabrera have a mutual respect for each other. Miguel Cabrera has mutual respect for almost everyone in the Tigers organization because he represents the Tigers. He's easily the longest tenured player on that team. Like, literally, his first base coach is Ramon Santiago, his former teammate on that 2010 team. Like, it's just not even close. Like, Ryan's completely right. What Pujols went to the Angels is not close to what Cabrera went to the Tigers. If this was with the Cardinals and Pujols, then that's a completely different story. Then we're talking about, then maybe Cabrera.
The Cardinals would have never done it. That's flat out. If he was still with the Cardinals don't cut him. They bite the bullet. The Angels still have to pay most of his salary. So, right. No, it's completely different.
And I do wish Pujols would decide to retire as a Cardinal. I think he will end up doing that. But it's cool seeing him on the Dodgers and seeing him contribute immediately right away last night. It was cool seeing. But going back to the Cabrera thing, I would cry my eyes out if we ever cut Cabrera. I would much rather it be settled that he retired as a Tiger and just that's just how it went, because he will retire soon and it's coming. But I can't see us cutting him ever.
I think next year will probably be his last year. But that's why I posed it, because I saw so many people on social media saying, oh, Miguel Cabrera is going to be the next one. And I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that. And so I'm glad that you guys agree, because it's weird. It's not the same. There's similar players who have similar, resumes in terms of their performance, but obviously the impact that they have on the city and the team is drastically different. So, with that, the other thing that I just found funny that I wanted to point out was I was thinking about it the other day, and Dodger Stadium and Angel Stadium are like virtually copy and paste versions of each other with their dimensions, with left field and right field corners being ridiculously short fences and very, very close. And then you go into the outfield. Obviously, the outfield's, left center to right center is very different. But I just find it really interesting how the both fields, they're really the only two fields in baseball where both the right field and left field corners are really brought in and really short porches. Yankee Stadium's just a little league field, so that doesn't count. But, I think that's interesting.
Fenway is super short to right field. You know that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm with the Green Monster. It's not really comparable because it's as if it's 3.
Oh, I know it's not comparable. I'm just saying they have a super short wall.
Oh, absolutely,
super short dimensions,
which was proven with Shohei Ohtani and his pop up to right the other day. The weirdest thing ever.
That's my MVP, baby.
Oh yeah, and I honestly, at this point, I think he's going to get it. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Hey, I wore my Shohei shirt yesterday, and he hit a dinger. So that's all I have to say.
Well, good.
Can we talk about that pitch in a little bit too?
Yes, absolutely. We could because I'm sure he's going to be in your player of the week and stuff. We can talk about him then and really have a little mini Shohei segment. A lot of Angels talk today because we're talking about Mike Trout now. And this is we can spend a little bit, maybe 10 minutes on this because it's an important conversation. This is a conversation that last year I think we all probably would have ended up agreeing on, but I think that this year we're kind of turning our eyes somewhere else. Ironically, to a player in the same organization who will go down as the best player to ever play the game. And Mike Trout, I think if we all were asked this same question 365 days ago, our simple answer would be, at the end of his career, Mike Trout will go down as the best baseball player ever. Really quickly, short answer, yes or no. today, do you still believe that Mike Trout will end his career as the best baseball player of all time? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Wow. See, and we all agree because I don't believe so either. And I think that, first of all, I think
there's one name to tell is my reasoning. There's one name.
He's not close. He's not close.
Babe Ruth.
Two.
It's just Babe Ruth.
I was talking about today, but yes.
Babe Ruth. You put Babe Ruth in the game today, he is smashing Bonds' record. He's smashing Hank Aaron's record too.
And he might get an ERA title too, along with that.
And he would get an ERA title. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously pitching back then was very different, so we wouldn't know for a fact. But
Babe Ruth is the greatest baseball player ever. And it's so hard to determine the greatest baseball player ever because of the different positions, fielding, hitting, all the different categories. Babe Ruth did both.
But we know it's Ruth.
We all know it's Ruth. We all said he's the greatest hitter ever for a reason.
I thought we picked Bonds, or did we pick Ruth?
No,
I don't remember.
I picked Ruth. I know for a fact we picked Ruth.
It was a very long time.
I just think I think that Babe Ruth made an impact on both sides of pitching and hitting. So that's my reason for why Mike Trout won't ever be the greatest baseball player ever. Will he be top 5? Yeah, he will.
Easily the best that we've seen.
Best that we have ever seen. Probably yes, I will agree with that. But there is Babe Ruth that will always tower anyone unless Shohei just goes off for the next 15 years.
Okay.
The only other player I could, because Ohtani is the first player we've seen since Ruth to be able to do both things consistently. Like, he's crazy. He's literally leading the league in home runs. He has a sub 2.5 ERA. Like that's unheard of. He literally hit a pitch 4 feet above the ground last night for a home run. Like he's absurd. But going back to Trout, like, it's just tough because Trout has no weaknesses in his game except the fact that he just can't throw a pitch 100 miles per hour. And it's unfortunate that Ruth probably was able to do that, and Ruth was able to make a career out of pitching and was easily the greatest hitter of all time.
Yeah. So if Mike Trout hits 700 home runs, is he the best baseball player of all time?
Still no.
No, because Ruth has 714.
Ruth has more home runs, and Ruth made an impact pitching wise.
And Ruth's batting average is going to be higher easily. He's a 340.
We did give it to Babe Ruth. I just officially checked.
Yeah.
So,
and this is nothing against Mike Trout.
No, of course.
Just how insane Babe Ruth was. That's what it is.
Trout in this conversation is absurd.
Yes, exactly. So it's nothing against Mike Trout. It's just Babe Ruth. He's that guy. And I think he always will be.
I agree. Now, who in today's game do you think can then unseat Babe Ruth? You can pick more than one or just one. Anybody.
I don't see anybody. Not in today's game, at least.
The one person that possibly could is who we just said can, and that's Mike Trout.
I mean,
maybe Juan Soto if he goes off.
Maybe
Juan Soto is a future face in the league, but I don't see anyone dethroning Mike Trout. Babe Ruth.
I think Nick's right though with Ohtani. I think
Ohtani would have to go completely balls to the walls, insane for the next 15 years.
Now. If you can
what he is doing right now for the next 15 years, that is a discussion we will have when we get to it. And there's definitely a compelling case. But as of right now, it's Babe.
Obviously, I can't tell the future, but I'm assuming he won't win 7 World Series like his counterpart Babe Ruth did. And I'm assuming he will not hit 340. And I'm also assuming he's not going to hit over 700 home runs. Therefore, it'll still be Babe. But we don't know.
I mean, he's changing the landscape. He's only 26 years old, and I mean that could, as we know, Japanese players tend to play later in their careers. So he could easily have 15 more years left.
Like I just said, he would have to go completely insane for the next 15 years. And if he does, then that's a conversation we will have at that time, and then he'll definitely have a case. But until then, it's the great old Babe Ruth.
All right. I mean, I can't disagree with either of you. I completely agree. The two players that I would have brought up would have been Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani. Juan Soto, just in the realm that I believe he has the chance to go down as the best hitter of all time at the end of his career. But I mean, he's got to start picking it up from now. And Shohei Ohtani, just simply because of the plain purpose that he is a pitcher and a hitter at the same exact time, and is doing pretty damn good at both. And obviously we saw Babe Ruth pitch and then solely become a hitter after a while. Maybe Ohtani, takes that route too. But I mean, I'd say if Shohei Ohtani pitches 15 seasons and is consistently a 1 or 2 starter in that time and continues to hit this well, I don't think we'll have a debate, honestly, 15 years from now, because the best baseball player ever could pitch very well and hit incredibly well. Maybe if Shohei Ohtani can pitch incredibly well and hit incredibly well for a whole career. That's true. That's true. And the Angels might not be the place for him.
We can talk about the what ifs all we want, and I would love to see it happen, but we can't know for sure. And that's the worst part about it, is that we can talk about all the what ifs, but what we know as of right now, Babe Ruth is the greatest player of all time, and as of right now, there's nobody close to him.
I'd have to agree with you. So will Mike Trout become the best player of all time quickly turn into a Shohei Ohtani segment? But that's perfectly fine, Ryan. Okay, well, I was going to say, Ryan, this is your time to talk about Shohei Ohtani, but I guess we'll save that for later. So, I mean, it's an interesting conversation. I find it really funny that we went, Mike Trout, the Angel, is being eclipsed by Shohei Ohtani, and we all said it, that this year could be the year that Mike Trout gets eclipsed as no longer the best baseball player in the game. And I don't think Shohei Ohtani's ready to take that over yet. We need to see many more years of the success. But I don't know. Maybe if he keeps this up all year long, it's going to be hard to debate that. So
Trout's also putting up career numbers too. Like, it's not like he's playing bad. He's literally the last player to hit 400 in the league.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
he's still doing Mike Trout things. It's just unfortunate he can't pitch.
Yeah, it is. If he could pitch, then he probably wouldn't end up going down as the best player to ever.
Do you know how insane? This is how insane Mike Trout is. The man is putting up insane numbers, and all we can say is, "Oh, it's Mike Trout." That's how insane this guy is. Nobody's overtaking Mike Trout as the best player in baseball because that's what he is. It's just he's not getting talked about because people expect these numbers from him, and he continuously puts those numbers up.
He's on the Angels.
I mean, he's hitting 333.
He's made the playoffs once, and he got swept.
That's true.
Yeah, did he get swept?
Crime. It's not a crime that he got swept because it was by my Royals, but it's a crime that he has not won a World Series. It is a crime that he has only made the playoffs once. It is a crime that the Angels just suck and can't represent him as well as he should be represented.
I don't want them wasting Shohei and Trout's prime. And
that is what I've been afraid of ever since they signed Shohei. Is that imagine this guy blows up. They're wasting his career. They are wasting Trout's career. They're wasting possibly Rendon's career. That is pathetic, and that is just so sad.
It's very true. Excuse me. Now, Mike Trout in 2021, 8 homers, 18 RBIs, batting .333, league leading .466 on base percentage. Not league leading. Oh, no, that's a baseball leading .466 on base percentage, league leading .624 slugging, and a baseball leading 1.09 OPS. He also has a Major League Baseball leading 200 OPS plus. The highest OPS plus he has ever had in his career before this year is 198. So Mike Trout's having a career year right now, and that is scary because he is in his 11th big league season and is 29 years old. Mike Trout's only 29. That's unbelievable. The man's probably going to play for another 11, 12, 13, maybe even 14 more years. If he does that, there's maybe a chance he becomes the best hitter ever. You never know. So, I mean, that was great. A lot of content. I took a little different approach. I don't know if you guys noticed where I was kind of just feeding it to you and not really giving my perspective so that I could hear your raw reactions. So that was good. Ryan didn't have to yell at me for my opinions, which was good too. So it seemed to work well. So that rolls us in to our now regularly scheduled programming for these days. And that starts us off with the power rankings. And our power rankings, always something very fun that we do. We do the top 10 every week and our number 30 team. And, well, Nick, I'm proud to say the Tigers are not the number 30 team anymore.
That's the only that's like the favorite part of my show. We're not.
You know where they actually are? They're at 27. You jumped 4 spots. 4 spots.
Yeah.
So how about that? Now
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I reached rock bottom when the Royals got swept by them. Not even going to lie. I was so depressed.
I texted in the group chat and I got no response, but I just knew that you saw the brooms, right?
Dude, I'm not going to lie. As frustrated as I was throughout that entire series, I don't think I've been as frustrated as I was with Sunday's game ever. I got so pissed. Like, twice in this series, Royals got screwed by replay. I do not even. You guys want to rant? I'll rant about the stupid replay system. Second off, why Wade Davis? We're not going to get into it. Let's just say this: this month of May has made me nearly pull out my own hair and jump off the top of my house.
Well, clearly it worked with
That's our regularly scheduled programming.
Clearly you did end up pulling your hair out because it's all gone now. So I see that worked out. So let's all agree, number 30, by far the worst team in baseball, the Minnesota Twins.
I put the Rockies. I'm kidding. I put the Minnesota Twins.
Also, on top of that, I just want to point out that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams in 2021 are dumpster fires. The Twins, I'm going backwards order from 30 to 24, just if you want to keep in mind. The Twins, the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, the Tigers, the Rangers, the Orioles, and the Pirates. They all suck. They're all having horrible years.
Gosh, does it feel good to not hear the Royals in that?
They're not. Yeah, no, they're not. They're the Royals are
this month. Let's
the
get
Royals
that
are
straight.
at 19. They're at 19 for me. They're there.
It's the little wins, okay? It's the little ones, okay?
Yeah. Hey, you only dropped 1 spot in the week because everyone else below you just absolutely is atrocious.
Hey, we split with the Sox. We split with the Chicago White Sox. We should have won 3 out of those 4 games, but
we just beat the Mariners last night. That was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you're in 27th. I mean, it's great. And I mean, honestly, the thing that I've seen so much is that the top 13 teams on this list are in another league of their own. And then the bottom 10 are also in another league of their own. And then there's maybe 7 or 8 in the middle that are just kind of playing above the Mendoza line. Yeah, it's just they're hanging around there. The Mets were in the top 10 until their Rays series, and then that went away. So I've got them at 14. But yeah, we'll get rolling right into it. Top 10. I just want to make a mention because what I'm going to do every week is mention the other teams that are not in the top 10 that I also have considered in that kind of golden league right now is what I'm kind of calling it. So those 3 teams I've got at 13, I've got the Chicago Cubs. They're really on fire right now. At 12, I've got the Toronto Blue Jays. They're playing very well. And at 11, I've also got the Tampa Bay Rays. Oh, Ryan, your brother's back.
Yes, Eric is here.
Is he going to be a regular on the show this summer?
Yes. No.
Yes.
He actually just got back from work. He's a barista at Starbucks.
Oh, fun.
Nice. You don't have to be nice about it. You can make fun of me. It's okay.
I was going to say, I feel like Ryan was really setting us up to make fun of you.
I was setting you guys up to say something. Instead, I just laugh every time I hear it.
I mean,
Ryan, we're not you. We're not going to just jump all over.
Judgmental? You guys aren't judgmental like him?
I'm not judgmental.
Oh, no?
Oh, no, not at all.
I may be mental, but I'm not judgmental. Okay? There's a difference.
You might be Aaron judgmental. No, Dom is Aaron judgmental. That's
Dom is Aaron judgmental.
That man enjoys. I cannot say this on YouTube because children watch this show. So I'm not gonna say it. That man is in love with Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I know.
Aaron Judge in a Padre uniform.
Yeah, could you imagine? All righty, so we'll roll in the top 10. Number 10, I have the Cleveland Indians. They were at number 6 last week. They took a little bit of a drop. They've been slowing down a little bit, but they still have been so good, and they were so good for so long that it's hard for them to not be in that top 10.
I have the Rays at 10.
I actually have the St. Louis Cardinals at 10. They slipped a little bit this week.
They did. They definitely did. Alrighty, number 9, the Los Angeles Dodgers with the biggest jump of the week up to number 9. I had them at 20 last week, so they jumped 11 spots. They're back. They've still got some ground to make up. They've got to keep it up if they want to beat the teams ahead of them, because the teams ahead of them have been consistent this entire season. But the Dodgers are definitely back to and ready to roll.
Like I said, I'll never not have the Dodgers in my top 10, and they're at 9 for me.
Ryan's going to be like, number 1, Dodgers.
I have one thing to say.
Oh,
Dodgers at 9.
Oh, yeah! Let's go! That's great. All righty. Number 8. I mean, we've got last week, Marco and I agreed on like 7-1, so that was pretty special. Number 8. I've got the St. Louis Cardinals here. I think they were at number 2 last week. Definitely a little bit of a slide. It doesn't help that they're playing the Padres, who are just steamrolling everyone right now. But, I mean, still, really good season so far.
I mean, I have the Padres at 8. Respect.
What? You have the Padres at 8?
We're on 8, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but you have why? They've won 4 in a row, and they're 7 for their last 10.
I mean, the teams I have above them. I mean, yeah, I also have the Cardinals above them, but like I feel like the Cardinals just went through a little slide against them.
The Cardinals have lost 3 in a row to the
The
Padres.
Cardinals got swept by the Padres.
And they're still what, first in their division?
Yeah, but I just
And they have more wins than the Padres, do they?
no, they don't. They're actually 2.5. They're about a game and a half behind the Padres too. I don't know. It's okay. I respect it, but I can't have the Padres anywhere under 3rd for this week at least.
3rd.
Interesting. Okay, my number 8. I have the Toronto Blue Jays. They're heating up right now, gentlemen. They're
Absolutely
looking scary.
They don't have my top 10, but they're definitely up. They're definitely like 11 for me.
Oh, yeah. Now, number 7, they jumped up 2 spots this week. The 4th place New York Yankees. Now, they are in 4th place, but they're hot. They're playing well. And they might not be in your top 10, but they were so good for so long. They've only lost 2 in a row. They were really good at the beginning of the week that they were higher, but they've slowly started to cool down. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe slip out a little bit in the next couple of days, but still, I think 7's good for them.
I have the Giants at 7.
Right. They're having troubles.
Someone really does not like the NL West.
Me, I have 3 teams in the same division.
Number 7.
Top 10.
I've got the New York Mets.
What? Why? They got swept by the Rays, and they have no one healthy. I'm okay with that. But
You know, they've won 7 of their last 10, Michael.
Yeah, you're still fine.
You're above 500. Would you like for me to take them out?
No, I'm okay with that, but I don't know. They're playing awful. It's okay. I'm happy with that. That makes me really happy. I'm just really surprised. All righty. At number 6, with another huge drop, we were giving them a lot of respect last week. Now they're finally getting into that top 10. The Houston Astros are at number 6 for me. They're at 15. They are just really playing well. We were sleeping on them for so long, and honestly, the thing that I've been seeing is that they're the quietest team in baseball. They're not making the noise that they were before, and they are absolutely just dominating. They've won 6 in a row. I mean, honestly, they're probably going to be in the top 3 next week if they keep this up. If they would have been even higher on this list if they weren't so low last week.
I have the Cardinals next. They're to me they will continue to be a top 5 team. Right now they're not top 5 right now for me because they just got swept by the Padres, but that team is here to stay.
Aren't we on 6?
Yeah, six. I have the Cardinals, but
okay. You mentioned top 5. I was like, wait, hold on, what?
They will be top 5, but they got swept, so I can't have them in top 5 right now.
My number 6. Let me make sure I have that right in my brain. Yeah, my number 6 is the Athletics. They're still playing great baseball, but the teams above them are just on fire.
I agree. I'd have to agree with you. Now, the team that was number 1 last week is my number 5, the Boston Red Sox. They've been good. They've been playing very well, but they're now 6 for their last 10. They've lost 1. They're slowly coming back down to earth, and I believe that the 4 teams above them are just playing a little bit better and are kind of taking them, but still definitely top 5 team.
5, I have the Mets.
I think we killed them.
I don't know. They're still.
Why am I the one who's disrespecting the Mets?
You're still first.
It's because I watch them. I watch them every day, and they're playing so
won
awful.
7 out of your last 10. Your team isn't even fully healthy yet.
Oh my gosh! Wow. I mean, I agree that once everyone gets healthy, they're going to be probably winning the division. Will win the division, but for right now, they're a train wreck. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
My number 5, I actually have the Houston Astros. They've won 8 out of their last 10. They're on fire right now.
It's very true. They're killing it. Now, number 4, I had the San Francisco Giants. They were in 5 last week, jumping up to 4 this week. And boy, have the Giants been fun to watch. They have won 2 in a row. They're 7 for their last 10. They're 9 games over 500 when none of us even expected them to break 500 at all this year. They're just playing well, and I never thought that they would last in the top 10 for more than 2-3 weeks, but here they are.
I mean, we talked about this team earlier and how much their stadium sucks, but I have the A's at 4, and they're trying to come back down to earth. I feel like the Astros are right on their tail for that division, and it's getting pretty. That division's going to have a nice race at the end.
So far, every division in baseball is going to be a dogfight. I mean, the biggest gap we have is the AL Central, where the White Sox are up by 3.5 games. And even at that, that's not very large. So it's going to be a fight.
At number 4, I have the San Diego Padres.
Okay. At number 3, I have the Oakland Athletics. They're still playing well. I mean, they're first in the division. They're slowing down a little bit, but they still gained a spot this week, primarily because the Cardinals and Indians fell a lot in the last week, but still, and the Red Sox. But still a very good week for the Athletics, and they're still staying hot after being last in baseball. I mean, that 11-game winning streak, man, it was huge for them.
3, I have the Astros. I never underrated them coming into this season. I thought they always had those pieces, and they've consistently been winning, and they're on a 6-game win streak right now, and they've been on fire.
You did. You told us. You did.
For me at 3, I'm actually going to stick with the Red Sox. Yeah, they've only won 6 out of their last 10. That's so bad, according to Michael. They're still playing better than anyone anticipated, and they're still playing great baseball. They're still ahead in that division. Put them at 3 for me.
I have a quick question for you guys. You guys mind if I join the top 3?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
See, they'll let me join.
Okay, here.
See? Okay.
Well, we are missing Marco today, so you can jump in.
At your number. See what I'm talking about? Okay. Number 3, I will also put the Oakland Athletics.
You just told me the Astros.
I'll put the Oakland. No. Athletics at 3. Athletics at 3. I changed my mind. Athletics at 3.
See, he's indecisive.
He and I agree. And I think I like him more than you now.
You know that's wrong. You know that's wrong.
That's not wrong.
You like me more than
no.
him.
It's pretty.
He muted himself. At number 2, I've got the San Diego Padres. I mean, they're on a roll. They are
over the Giants.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord!
They're a half game back. They're going to be in first place in a few days. Mark my words. They're going to be in first place in a few days, and they're just playing really well. They have won 4 in a row. They have been consistently in the top all year. They jumped from 8th place up to 2nd, and I think that it's I can't. I mean, you had them at 4. You can't really disagree that much.
I have the Red Sox at 2. I mean, they've been coming back down to earth, but they're still first in their division. And to be fair, the Blue Jays and the Rays and the Yankees are 4 consistent teams right behind them, but the Red Sox have been playing the best in that division, and it's not been close. If they can just get some type of pitching at the deadline, that's a team to watch out for.
All right, my number 2, I'm actually going to go with the Giants. This team still has been shocking the entire league. They're up against the Padres, who are a super team after what they did this offseason, and the Dodgers, who are the ultimate super team and reigning World Series champions. And they're winning the division. They're playing great baseball. So give me the Giants at 2. Quit disrespecting them, Michael.
All right, number 2. You guys may think this is kind of stupid. However,
Eric, I already think you're stupid.
Chicago White Sox. They're without two of their best players. However, they're still playing great baseball, still 10 games above 500, and they're in complete control of the AL Central. They're playing really good baseball right now.
Who do you have at 1?
Don't worry about it. We'll get to that.
Well, it's a good thing he doesn't factor into our unanimous decision because the White Sox are the best team in baseball this week, without a question.
You didn't do it right. You didn't do it right. It's okay?
Yeah.
The White Sox are the best team in baseball this week.
It's really unfortunate.
They are on fire. They've won 8 out of their last 10. They're playing great baseball. Jose Abreu's now out. Eloy Jimenez is out. Luis Robert's out. They're still winning games. Lance Lynn hasn't been fully healthy in a while.
Yerman Mercedes.
Yerman is going crazy. Poor La Tortuga. That guy throws a 47-mile-per-hour cheese ball, and he launches it on a 3-0 count.
It was 15-4.
Yes,
great.
it was so bad.
And you can see him cock his bat back like 3 times. He's going 45 miles per hour.
Crushed.
The White Sox are on fire. We knew that they were going to come out and they're going to take over the division. That's what they're doing. So, yeah, give me the White Sox. Easy number 1.
Easy number 1.
Let's see what your brother says.
Number 1, just based off consistency throughout the season, I will go with the Giants. They've been consistent. It's all about consistency. I know, very, very unpopular opinion. However, right, you just said this. They are in a stacked division, the Padres and the Dodgers, and they're still. They have game and a half lead?
To be fair, they just
half game lead over the Padres. They're a stacked division. I really like the Giants this year.
The White Sox won like 7 in a row.
That's why I have them at 2. They're at 2.
I mean,
you also have to remember the Royals took 2 from the Sox.
His argument isn't bad. They have the same amount of wins as the Giants.
His argument isn't bad, but
it's all about consistency.
Well, Ryan,
no, he's in a tougher division. They're in a tougher division
Ryan.
I don't know. It's okay. I can see it.
He's a business major. What do you expect?
He's all about the numbers. That's all business majors got is the numbers. Well, I understand. Well, I appreciate Eric's input in the top 3, albeit very controversial.
You're welcome back anytime you want.
It got us stirring. I don't think I've ever walked out of a show before I walked out 3 times in one show. I'm just blown away.
How many times did we walk out when we were at your house for that show?
Oh my God, it was even
4 times.
I will say I watched that show and it was actually very funny.
It was a
great show, by the way.
He has Nolan Arenado in his third baseman.
I still can't believe that.
Hey, he's proving me wrong. He's proving me wrong.
Is it over
Trevor
to first
Story
base
is not
now
the
where
best
I take
shortstop
over?
in baseball. Yes, it is. We're throwing Trevor Story's not the best shortstop in baseball, and I will never let you guys forget it. Okay, Ryan, we run to you as we run the bases. You are at first base. Let's get started.
Michael, I'm going to go back to that real quick. It's not the fact that you didn't have Trevor Story as the best shortstop. You had him as the 7th best. That's the issue. And then Nolan as the 5th best. You had Rafael Devers over Nolan Arenado. I almost had a heart attack when you said that.
Time out. You put Arenado at 5?
I did, yes.
Wow. I shouldn't be talking. I've had some cold takes, but I don't know about that one.
All right. So I actually had a tie for my team of the week, and it's going to be between the Astros and the White Sox, the 2 best teams in the past 10 games. Each won 8 out of their last 10. They're finding ways to do it with injuries still hitting both teams, so respect to both of them. This week I'm doing it a little bit different. I actually have 4 pitchers that insanely impressed me this week. First one is Yu Darvish. Second one is Freddie Peralta. Third one is Logan Webb. And the 4th one is Lance McCullers Jr. Each one of them pitched over 10 innings this week, and all of them had a sub-1 ERA. I can't see what you're showing me.
It's his fantasy lineup.
That smoked Ryan last week.
Please don't wink at me like that again. That's only meant for your girlfriend, not me. Please, no.
I'm preparing for tomorrow.
Michael, we're close, but we're not that close, buddy.
Hey, I want to say it publicly on the air. I beat Ryan in fantasy last week after he talked a lot of smack to me. I beat him by 50 points, and I'm now 6-0 in the fantasy league.
I don't have 2 of my top outfielders.
I'm still 6-0.
What's your record, Ryan?
The only 3-3. I'm the only team over 500 in the league.
Just wait. Just wait till my team gets healthy. Wait till I get Bellinger back. Just wait. That's when I tear you apart. Okay, now let's go to the rest of my lineup. My catcher's going to be Salvi. Salvi had a great week, 9 RBIs, hit over 350. At first base, I'm going to put Josh Fuentes of the Rockies. The past week, he had, I believe, 12 hits and 13 RBIs. Second base is going to be Max Muncy, who's actually starting to get it on, hitting over 400, had 3 home runs and 7 RBIs this past week. Third base is Mr. Machado. Stop showing us your fantasy team. Nobody cares.
This is how I'm winning, Ryan. This is why.
His team does look stacked. I will give him that. Like
Eric, look at my team. Eric, I'll show you my team, okay?
I was trying to say,
Eric,
My shortstop,
I traded him Mike Trout, Freddie Freeman, Salvador Perez, and DJ LeMahieu for Jacob deGrom, and I still beat him.
oh my gosh,
my team's just really hurt.
really hurt.
Yeah. Eric, I have a strategy, and it's worked perfectly. That's why I don't have a loss.
Oh, you have Duffy too.
Yes, I do.
He's just showing him his fantasy team.
We're close. We're twins. My shortstop is Trey Turner. And then my outfielders. I'm going to let you guys guess each one.
Kyle Tucker.
Nope.
Kyle Schwarber.
Nope. This
You
isn't
said
the Kyle show.
you said outfielders?
Yeah. Aaron Judge.
Yeah, Aaron Judge for sure.
Mitch
Oh, yeah,
Haniger,
yeah.
Chris Bryant?
Shohei Ohtani, baby.
Oh, Ohtani, yeah.
Okay, you could have put
And
him
then
in DH.
my DH, Vladdy.
Yeah, there you go.
Now I'm going to pass it on over to second base as we are now, instead of hitting a single, we're hitting a double.
Yes, sir. All right. Players under the radar. We're going to start off in Seattle, and we might stay in Seattle for a little bit. I'm starting with Mitch Haniger. I think Michael Dooley just said it. The batting average isn't there, but the power on the RBI is there. 12 home runs. I think that's good for second in the league. I think Ohtani has 13 now. And he's 30 RBIs, 0.894 OPS, which is very good. Next, I'm going to take it to Texas. Adolis Garcia, quietly batting 296, 11 home runs, 28 RBIs, 933 OPS. Very, very, very solid numbers. And then I'm going to take it to someone I don't think I've said yet this year. Trey Turner's finally starting to swing the bat a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot. He's batting 330, 10 home runs, 21 RBIs. Under the radar, though, because he just is. And this is a player that I didn't think I would say at all this year. Brandon Crawford, not for his average at all, but just for his power. 9 home runs, 22 RBIs. Very, very solid. And one of my favorite players on this segment, Ryan McMahon. The average is kind of dropping now. Kind of sad about that, but 9 home runs, 26 RBIs. I love to see it so much. And then I'll go to a little bit of pitching. Jack Flaherty, quietly, has been so good. He's 7-0.
That's your boy.
That's my boy. 2.47 ERA, 0.95 WHIP. I think I picked him to win Cy Young this year. He's been absolutely brilliant. Steven Matz too for the Jays. The ERA is a little high. The record's there though. 46 strikeouts, 1.29 WHIP. And then my last pitcher I'm going to go with, I'm going to touch up on Julio Urias. Quietly 5-1 with a 3 ERA, 52 strikeouts, 0.91 WHIP. Solid number.
Well, that concludes the Ryan McMahon segment, which is what we're going to now have to rename you, the Ryan McMahon, second base, the Ryan McMahon show. I mean, this week was really a great week for a lot of reasons, a lot of great players, and I think you really hit on all of them. So that's very good. Third base, Marco's not here, so we're gonna skip the bag, and then we're going to head home.
Hey! We all know the hardest hit in the cycle is the triple. Okay,
I just want to also
and just go for the dinger, and that's what we just hit. So Michael, bring it home.
I just want to shout out Trey Mancini. He's 4th in the league in RBIs right now. That's it.
Yes,
respect.
Very good, very respectful, or respectable. He might be respectful. I've never met the guy. All right, top 5 moments of the week at home plate. We start off at number 5. Nick, Miguel Cabrera setting the record for most hits by a Venezuelan-born player on May 12th. You're very lucky that he didn't get knocked out, but this week was a week I'm just waiting for it, Ryan. I'm just waiting. I see it coming. I'm just waiting for it.
Hey.
Wrong. I should have been higher.
yeah.
I disagree. No, the ones above it are really great. I mean, look, it's
Each
a great
one I
moment.
disagree with. I'm blowing the whistle.
That's fine. So at number 4, we have Hunter Renfroe making a 92-mile-an-hour monster throw from right field to nab Matt Chapman. It was a gorgeous play. It was quite the throw. Ryan isn't blowing the whistle because he agrees. It was a
Oh, no.
no.
He doesn't.
I know you agree with me because that was a
I
great
think that
play.
one should be higher too. That was an insane play.
Dude, the other 3 above it are just as insane. I mean, this week had 4 or 5 plays that were great, and then the rest just kind of sucked. Like they were just average weekly plays. At number 3, we have Jackie Bradley Jr. robbing Ozzie Albies on back-to-back days, one with a home run robbing catch, then making another stellar catch. Back-to-back days, same player. That's 3rd place. Then at 2nd, you're definitely blowing out someone's eardrum somewhere. So please.
I'm sorry. Jackie Bradley should be 1.
No.
He did it on back-to-back days. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You must be on that ganja stuff right now, buddy.
You're so strange. All righty. The next one here, never thought I would say this guy's name on this show ever this year just because of how random he is. But Pavin Smith. I don't think any of you guys even noticed that this play happened because it's the Diamondbacks and they didn't show it anywhere. But Pavin Smith robbed a home run to save the game. It was a walk-off home run robbery. It would have been a go-ahead home run in the top of the 9th. He made the catch over the wall, brought back a home run, and won the game for the Diamondbacks. Underrated play. No one spoke about it all week, and it's got to be number 2. That happened on May 10th, by the way. That was all the way back last Monday on the day of our last show. And then at number 1, I'm always going to be biased to this guy, so it's okay. Jared Kelenic homers for his first big league hit, then hits 2 doubles in a game for his first major league hits. What a day for him.
Here comes the Mets bias once again. Oh, here we go. You are a joke, my friend, for that. That was a joke, and I hope you know that. You know what? Kelenic, if you want to put him at 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah, honestly, Mickey being the Venezuelan hit leader is better than Kelenic's first home run in his 2nd game.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Insane POS.
It's my list for a reason.
It's very respectable.
It's not first base. It's his home plate.
Kelenoc's home run is definitely a big deal, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, this week was all a jumble. Like, honestly, you could.
I just have an issue with it because of the Mets bias.
It's okay.
That's my issue.
I mean, it's funny because he's just not on the Mets, though.
I know. Oh, I know. But I'm always going to love Jared Kelenic. But honestly, in all honesty.
Who was he traded from, though? That's right. The Mets.
Good old Robbie, don't you know, Cano.
Yeah.
Good old Robbie, steroids Cano.
That's true. So what I was saying is that this top 5 could have been jumbled around. We could have had Miggy at 2nd. We could have had Miggy at 2nd, Pavin Smith at 5th, and Jackie Bradley Jr. at 1st. It didn't matter because honestly, I would have to say that these top 5 were all pretty much around the same plane. They weren't overwhelming. They weren't underwhelming, and there really wasn't anything else that deserved to be in the top 5. A really strange week, but really good moments and memorable moments nonetheless. So that is going to do it for today's show. We're going to be taking 2 weeks off for a little bit of a summer break. We don't know when we're coming back. We don't know the days.
No. You know, I'm actually going to take over the show with Nick and Marco.
I'm down.
And we're going to do a killer job while you're with your girlfriend, okay?
I'm joining, by the way.
Yeah, Eric can take your spot.
Yes. Let's go.
We need someone who's biased. He can be biased.
One more thing. Question for each of you. Other than Shohei Ohtani, if you had to name one MVP right now, who is it?
Shohei Ohtani.
Other than Shohei.
In the AL, the NL.
There's none other.
AL or NL?
Let's go NL.
Well,
NL?
Fine. Let's go NL. Fine. I said other than Shohei, but since all you guys think Shohei's going to win the MVP, we'll go NL. Fine.
Absolutely, yeah. Shohei Ohtani. NL.
NL. I have to
Jacob DeGrom. honestly. Jacob DeGrom.
I say DeGrom or Acuna.
I'd say DeGrom.
DeGrom or Acuna.
I agree with Ryan.
I would say probably Acuna.
Yeah, I'd say
DeGrom or
DeGrom or Acuna too. Yeah, if DeGrom can get
DeGrom or
healthy and
Acuna,
can
for sure.
continue,
And the
if
AL
DeGrom,
Ohtani.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, there's no other acceptable answer. It is
no,
my
there's
boy, Shohei.
I don't think Trout's an acceptable answer.
You know
No,
what? You know what?
I mean,
For the rest of the shows this year, I'm going to be having my Shohei Ohtani shirt in the background. I'll figure it out how. If I have to
Why
move
don't
my
you
desk,
just-
I have to.
just wear it.
Low-key, if Judge can get his batting average up, you can make a case for Judge.
If you're me,
Judge is going to
Mercedes
cool
keeps
down
this
that
up.
heat up. The
Yeah, I'm down for
inconsistency
Yermin
levels with
Mercedes.
him is so clear.
I would honestly say that the Yerminator is another possible second place.
Agreed.
Xander Bogaerts too.
Yerminator.
Xander Bogaerts is dude. Yermin
You know what?
Mercedes is leading
You know what?
baseball with a
You guys can
364
say what
batting
you
average.
want. I feel bad for La Tortuga, okay?
We know
I
you
feel
do.
bad for La Tortuga.
I
So-
don't. He threw 45 miles per hour.
Hey,
I
hey,
mean,
do not hate on La Tortuga.
It was an ephus, though, right?
I don't think it was. I think it was just a balloon.
I think he
So
was trying to throw something and it just didn't work, and then Yermin just launched it. The funniest part is that it was on a 3-0 count.
and it probably would have been a ball. It most likely would have been a ball too.
Yeah,
if
what
he-
That was Shohei's home run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we
exactly.
talk about how this man just defies physics like that? How he can torch his body, hits balls that are near his freaking neck, and sends them a mile?
Wait. How did he hit the other one on the previous day over the monster when he just poked at it?
Yeah.
You
It
don't
he-
talk
was
about-
in the dirt.
Yeah,
It was in the dirt.
that's what
How?
I'm saying.
This guy's the MVP.
yeah, he is. He's really special.
Honestly, right now he probably is.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't think
hey,
there's anyone else.
He's going to continue to dominate. He's going to win MVP. I'm going to be very happy because he's one of my favorite players. It's not like I have any financial compensation on him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, geez.
10 to win 250, baby. Let's go, baby.
We don't endorse sports betting on the show. Just want to
No,
point
we
that
do not endorse sports betting.
Endorse or condone.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's why he's on the
See-
show.
Well,
Or perform.
Or perform. No,
see,
no, no.
I'm a former bettor. I quit recently.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for spring here on the show. We'll be back in a couple weeks for summer of running the bases.
No,
Ryan,
let us
can you
do it.
just, can you just let me close?
Ryan, he is
close the
obviously
show.
the leader of the show. Maybe even Nick, definitely not you. So just,
Get out of here. Go make me some coffee.
thank you guys.
Yes,
Nobody
thank you
went
for
wrong.
being on.
Bye. I'll
So
see you
yeah,
next
in
week.
reality, yeah. Oh, you will. That's fun. Well,
Well,
maybe not.
I was assuming on the show.
Oh, well then no, you won't. But you know,
Hey, Nick,
whatever.
you'll see him in November.
Oh, bet. That's fire.
I'm gonna have to. Okay, well, fine. Then I have to be there too. That's just it's gonna have to be a whole podcast affair. But yeah, like I was saying, we don't know when we're gonna be back in the summer. We don't know what days, what times. For right now, none of us have any clue when we're all gonna be free. Nick is very flexible. I'm fairly flexible. Ryan and Marco are literally on the opposite schedule, where Ryan's busy in the evening, Marco's busy in the morning, and Ryan's busy on Saturdays and Sundays. And you know, it's
The
just
life of a baseball coach.
yeah, you're just ruining everything is the moral of the story here.
And you know what? You ruined the fun on this show. Okay?
No,
You
that's
ruined,
just not
you know
true.
what? You ruined our respect for you by putting Trevor Story as the 7th best shortstop and Nolan Arenado as the 5th best third baseman, okay?
I will
You
never
ruined any
never
ounce of
live it down.
respect that any of us may had for you.
I will never live that down ever, unfortunately. So that'll do it for us today here on Running the Bases. Again, 2 weeks off, so enjoy your time without us, without talking about baseball. Enjoy baseball. I mean, a lot of baseball coming up. I've got Mets games going on in the meantime that I'll be going to in Arizona when they come here. That's going to be exciting. So, I mean, it's going to be a fun couple weeks. But thank you everybody for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you all back in a couple weeks. But enjoy for now, and we will see you very, very soon.